All right, Coach, you got to tell me about Vance Joseph because I know he was your guy, and now here he is, the Broncos head coach, and I know you're really proud of that. You don't seem very surprised, I guess I should say.
You know, TEAM, together everyone accomplishes more. That's who this guy is. He's a team player. He's wholehearted. He's genuine. He's humble. The guy you want is the one that's talented and humble because they're coachable, okay? The guys that have all the answers, they're hard to coach. Vance Joseph was really a dream to coach. And I'm excited that he's got this role right here in my backyard, you know, because he's special. He's a really, and all of his teammates would tell you the same thing.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Everybody loved him.
He was probably the most popular guy we had.
Really? No
Yeah.
kidding. On the team. I know he was your third string guy, which he said gave him a lot of time to watch.
Well, keep in mind the guys that he was playing behind, they were big time. Okay, they were really talented. Kordell Stewart, you know, was shot out of a gun, and he was size and speed and smarts. He had it all too. So we you know, when you got Boulder, you can recruit, right?
Right.
If you can get the brothers to visit Boulder, they've never heard of Boulder, but if you can get them to come and see it, then they don't want to leave.
You say you recruit guys and you'd drive them into Boulder and you'd stop at that overlook?
About a mile outside Boulder, if you pull the car over, you think you died and went to heaven. It takes your breath away. It's spectacular.
Yeah.
And you say, that's home for the next 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
Hopefully 5. We don't want to lose them too soon.
Yeah. But you think this guy has real possibilities as a head coach? He's a leader, you think?
I think he's the complete package. He's very bright. He's got a motor that doesn't shut down, and he'll call you out. That combination, it's hard to beat.
Were you that kind of head coach?
They used to call me Over the Hill Bill. You know, the best thing that ever happened to me was working for Schembechler for 9 years at Michigan. He won more games during that time than any other coach. And he showed me what a real leader looks like. The authority and yet the humility, that combination. So I had the good fortune for 9 years of being subjected to that kind of leadership, and some of it rubbed off.
I want to talk to you about Anschutz. I have to tell you, looking at you today, you probably look better than you did 30 years ago. I mean, you look terrific.
Flattery will get you everywhere.
But you take care of yourself. You say you're a big bike rider, and you're all about your health.
Yeah, I read that if you get your heart rate up for 20 minutes 4 times a week or more, you have maximum cardiovascular efficiency. And so I've subscribed. I've been riding. I've been following that prescription for more than 20 years. And I don't race anybody. I prefer to go downhill. But no, I get out and ride the bike.
Well, that's clearly helped you with your condition. And I have to say, you seem to manage it pretty effortlessly. I mean, you're basically the same guy I met 30 years ago. Better looking, as I say, but 30 years ago, the same guy.
You're welcome back anytime you want to come.
I want to know what your experience was up there at the CU Anschutz Research Center for the clinic and the research that you went through. I mean, how was that for you? Was that kind of a sobering thing, or did you enjoy it, or did you just feel it was something you had to do? I mean, how did you feel about that?
I was intimidated. You know, 1 out of 1 die, and you don't know when your clock is done ticking. So the fact that I needed to go and be subjected to that, it really called out my whole card. Okay, I mean, but Anschutz, just the name Anschutz means excellence. It doesn't get any better than Anschutz, in my opinion. You know, being around for many years now, and so I trust them. But I was fearful, I'm not ready to go yet. You're supposed to play your best football in the fourth quarter. I'm just starting the fourth quarter. I want to win the game. I don't want to go. It's too early.
Right. In fact, somebody at the research center said this is a scary thing for people, and I told some people at Channel 9 that, and they said, not Bill McCartney. He won't be scared of this. He's not afraid of anything.
They don't know me.
Maybe scarier than they thought. I want to know if you have any advice for people in your situation. I mean, what would you recommend for them? What would you tell them at this point in their illness?
There's a verse in the Bible. It's Proverbs 4:23, and it says, "Be careful how you think. Your life is shaped by your thoughts." We move in the direction of our self-talk. I would say to anyone that think big and you will be big. Think small and you'll be small. We move in the direction of our self-talk. So I believe in thinking positively. I believe in surrounding myself with people who are upbeat and positive and taking on challenges. If you're around people like that, it brings out the best in you.
So it's kind of like just another big football game, another big football program. You're looking at it as that kind of a challenge, maybe. Huh?
It really is. It's a big opponent. The older you get, that opponent becomes more intimidating.
Yeah.
But it's all in the way that we look at things. And my mom lived to be 103. My dad lived to be 87. So I figure, you play your best football in the fourth quarter. I'm getting ready to bring my A game.
You have longevity on your side. I didn't realize that. So you're how old today?
76.
How long you think you're going to get? How long are you going to go? How long would you like to?
I have a brother that's 78, and he was captain of the University of Toledo football team, and he's going strong. Well, I got to outlive him. So I don't know. Nobody really knows. Let's be fair.
Right.
But I feel very fortunate that, and we talked about this, but I exercise. I believe that you got to get your heart rate up and keep it up for 20 minutes at least 4 times a week. And so I do. Even when it's snowing or whatever, I still go out there and exercise.
Yeah, a lot of your former players say you were a little too fascinated with exercise.
We were in good shape.
I think the phrase was, he'd run you to death.
Well, they're all alive. So that can't be true.
Yeah. I want to know if the medical help that you've received so far has reduced some of the fear and anxiety of facing Alzheimer's.
For me personally, I think those of us that live around here are very fortunate to have access to the Anschutz facility. The people there are really good. Everything about that place is first class, and that gives me confidence. I feel very fortunate that I can go there and get treated.
Yeah, I think you were fortunate too. So, you still have a big family. How important are friends and family in making your way through this?
Well, obviously, as a father with 10 grandchildren, I'm invested in every one of their lives. I have prayed for each one of them every day of their lives, okay? And so I carry them in my heart. And I feel very fortunate to watch them and come up and come through the ranks and everything. And they're all capable of hanging the moon, okay? They're really talented. This is just Grandpa.
Yeah.
So that's a big part of my life.
Hanging on to your family during all of this. So I want to know if I don't believe it has, but I'm going to ask you anyway, if your condition has altered your faith in any manner. It seems to me your faith is probably, you've always been a man of faith, but your faith is probably a lot stronger, or am I misreading that?
Let me answer that this way. The Bible is the Word of God. In John 1:1, it says, "In the beginning was the Word was with God, and the Word was God." I have read the Bible every day for 42 years. I would never not read the Bible. And the Bible talks about the next life, This life is temporary, one out of one die. But the next life is eternal, okay? So I have a measure of anticipation and excitement because I believe that God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whosoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have life everlasting. So this is all temporary. The next life is eternal.
You're a healthy guy right now. I mean, I have to tell you, I find exactly the same guy that I've always known. Bill McCartney is exactly the same guy he's pretty much always been. I mean, do you feel different? I mean, when you wake up in the morning, do you wonder, am I the same guy I was, yesterday or the day before or 20 years ago?
Well, what's different is I live in this house alone, and that's different. There's nobody to do everything for you, right? I like things being done for me. And so that's been an adjustment, My daughter, Christy, lived in this house up until less than a year ago. And living alone in a house like this, it calls out your whole card. It really does search you. And you have to be pretty stable to live alone as you continue to get more elderly.
And you seem to be that guy.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's some really smart people at Anschutz who are embarking on this incredible trial of this drug Leukine is the name of it. And they don't know if it's the solution, but it certainly has a lot of promise. What would your hope be for the millions of other Americans, many of them right here in Colorado, as our population ages as well, facing the same thing you are?
This Leukine, I'm all in. I'm really hoping that it'll exceed all expectations, and I feel very fortunate to have access, an entree to this, and I think anybody, as they grow older, would be very much interested in this study, wherever you are around the world, because this can really make a dramatic difference.
You don't even seem that you've lost a step, though. I mean, do you feel that you've lost a step? You don't look like a guy. I mean, you look like you're still running with the herd.
Well, Mark always wants strokes when we play, and he's younger, so I guess I haven't lost a step in his eyes.
I mean, he's an old guy. He's older than you, I think. So, he's really an old guy. But
on the hoof, just on the surface.
Well, I think it's remarkable. I think people are going to be delighted to see that you're still the guy that everybody holds in their mind, and a lot of people still hold in their heart. You're well loved in Colorado. A lot of people miss you.
Well, that's encouraging. I really honestly did not know that, and I feel fortunate. I have a grandson up there at CU, studying to be a doctor. Great kid. His name is Derek, and his number is 95, in case people want to know which one he is. And so, this is fun for me. This is rewarding and challenging at the same time. As you get a little older, you really do have the benefit of watching your children's children grow up. That's fun.
Yeah, and it gets you back to the university. You said you go up and.
Living here in Westminster is just around the corner. You just go down that hill.
Yeah.
And you're in Boulder.
Yeah.
It doesn't get any better than Boulder. The best kept secret out there in all of college land? If you've ever seen Boulder, it's amazing. Come and visit Boulder, and you won't leave.
Look, you're still recruiting. It's like
in fact, I would say that in your home if you were my recruit.
Do you miss being on the sideline a little bit? I mean, you clearly have a clear recollection of all your days and the great run that you had at CU. Do you miss being on the sideline? I mean, coaching is such an intense job, but you seem that you're still somewhat connected to it.
Coaching is compelling. It's intoxicating. Where else does your budget run up and down the field, right? And these are 18 to 22-year-old kids. Those are the formative years. That's when a boy becomes a man. And so to have the privilege of being in a place like Boulder and coaching kids that come from around the country, it's really as good as it gets. And when I was 7 years old, I knew I was going to be a coach. Okay, and I'm still coaching. They just don't listen to me anymore. I don't have access or entree, but if they ever call me up, I'll tell them what to do.
There's a great picture of you on the wall back here when you were in high school, so you're 16 or 17. But even then, you had already made up your mind at least 7 years earlier that coaching is what you were going to do. Yeah.
Yeah, well, keep in mind, I grew up across the street from Riverview High School. So my parents, when I was real little, they didn't mind me going across the street because it was safe over there. The baseball diamonds, the basketball courts, the football fields and everything. So from my earliest on, I had access and entree to that environment. And it was exciting, and it still is.
Yeah. What makes you smile these days? What makes you laugh? Besides Mark.
Attorneys, No. What makes me happy in the heart is the gospel. I believe that God so loved the world that he gave his son. And so I have read the Bible every day for 42 years. I've never missed a day. I never will miss a day. You know why? Because John 1:1 says, in the beginning was the Word. The Word was with God, and the Word was God. If you read the Bible, it transforms you, it converts you, it purifies you, it washes you whiter than snow, it empties you of yourself, it cleanses you. And so what better way to take on every day than to be washed? I see a lot more to do yet. I don't think that I'm on my way out, And you're supposed to play your best football in the fourth quarter. So that's, you're supposed to have your A game. And so even though my memory is a little suspect, some would say very suspect, I still feel like life is... Think about it this way, okay? I don't have to go to work. You have to go to work. I don't have to go to work. Wait till that day comes. That's a good day.